What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And if you are a Lakers fan, you still may be wondering what would have happened if Chris Paul had been traded to the Lakers instead of the Clippers. Before I start this video, this week's post notification shout out will be right here on the screen. Go check them out. Link is in the description. So guys, many people are still wondering what happened with the Chris Paul trade back in December of 2011. So there was a proposed trade back in December 2011 where Chris Paul would be sent to the Los Angeles Lakers in a 3-team trade. In the trade, the Hornets would receive Lamar Odom from the Lakers, Luis Scola from Houston, Kevin Martin from Houston, Goran Dragic from Houston, while Houston received Pau Gasol from the Lakers, and the Lakers received Chris Paul. This trade was vetoed by NBA Commissioner David Stern, stating that it was for basketball reasons. 6 days later, Chris Paul was traded to the Clippers, where the Hornets received Al-Farouq Aminu, Eric Gordon, and Chris Kaman. Now, many people are still mad why this trade was vetoed, and David Stern stated back then it was for basketball reasons. Now, in recent events, David Stern has said that Mitch Kupchak panicked and he traded away Lamar Odom to the Dallas Mavericks. Stern stated that the trade could have possibly been redone and Chris Paul could have been landed on the Lakers squad. So let's say Chris Paul had been traded to the Lakers. Would Kobe Bryant have won his 6th ring? We're going to find out right now. I did a little research and I found out Chris Paul had a huge effect on the Clippers. So if I take a look at their season records from 2000 to 2016-17, which is the most recent season, the Clippers only made it to the playoffs one time before Chris Paul came in the 2011 and 12 season. Since then, the Clippers have made the playoffs 6 straight times, finishing 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So now we're going to say Chris Paul has been traded to the Lakers in 2011 and 12. The Lakers finished 3rd place in the Western Conference, which was 6 games behind OKC. Now, if Chris Paul was on their squad, I would say the Lakers would take the 2nd seed. Anyways, the Lakers and Thunder still ended up meeting in the 2nd round. Now, in the 2nd round, the Thunder won 4-1, but 2 games were decided by 3 points or less. So, if Chris Paul was there on the Lakers, could they have still been able to take down the Thunder? Now remember, this Thunder team would go on to meet the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. Yet, even if the Lakers took down the Thunder, they would have to face the powerful San Antonio Spurs. So let's say the Spurs went on to beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Would that mean we would see 3 straight meetings between the Heat and the Spurs? But if the Lakers went on to beat the Spurs with Chris Paul, that would mean we would see a Lakers versus Miami Heat NBA Finals. This could have meant Kobe Bryant could have won his 6th ring. Chris Paul would finally get past the 2nd round, which he didn't with the Clippers in all of his years. You know, they choked in the playoffs and all that. So Chris Paul would get past the Western Conference Finals. Kobe would have a chance at a 6th ring. Now, I believe the 2011-12 season was the only chance for Kobe Bryant to win his final ring, as from there, everything went downhill. So in the 2012-13 season, the Lakers managed to finish 7th in the Western Conference, just sneaking into the playoffs. In the first round, they played the San Antonio Spurs, where they got completely swept. But the thing is, Kobe Bryant wasn't playing in that series because he had injured his Achilles. He had torn his Achilles. Now, say if Kobe had managed his minutes that season and he didn't have to take much of the workload if Chris Paul was there. If Kobe had not played many minutes, I don't think he would have torn his Achilles against Golden State in that game. Him and Chris Paul could share the workload, but I don't think they could take down the San Antonio Spurs, which went on to win the NBA Finals that season. Now, that whole next year, Kobe Bryant was mostly out for the season while the Lakers finished 14th in the Western Conference. We still don't know how much of an effect Chris Paul would bring to the Lakers, but I know he would not be able to carry a team by himself and lead them to the playoffs. The Lakers that season finished 27-55, which had been their worst record since the 2004-05 season. Things kept going downhill from that, where they finished 21-61 in the next season, and then they had a franchise low of 17-65, and this current season finishing 26-65. Now, I think Chris Paul would have left in free agency probably in the 2014-15 season after having 2 straight and horrible seasons from the Lakers. So now let's go back to the 2011-12 season where the Lakers could have possibly won the NBA championship with Chris Paul. If Kobe had won his 6th ring, he probably would have retired because he wanted to retire with 1 more ring. He wanted to have 6 just like Michael Jordan. So if Kobe had retired a couple of years earlier, would that have meant no amazing 60-point game to end his career? Would that have meant he would not have torn his Achilles tendon? So guys, in recent events, Chris Paul has been traded to the Rockets this offseason. Now I'm interested to see what happens to the Clippers since he has been traded to the Houston Rockets. Chris Paul has led them to 6 straight playoff appearances, and without Chris Paul, the Clippers have only made the playoffs one time since the start of the 2000s. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed. This was a different kind of video from me. This is my first time trying this out. I've tried my best, it's kind of different for me, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you want me to do more what ifs. Hope you enjoyed this final video for this week. Starting next week, I'll be uploading once again Monday through Friday. Hope you guys are ready for that. I will be getting my first 99 overall in NBA Live Mobile, and I'll be getting a legend player and some awesome gameplay for you guys. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this what if Chris Paul was traded to the Lakers video. Please drop a like if you enjoyed, and other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.
3, 2, 1, go!